This is the plaintiff, Mallory Woltering. She says she gave the defendant a deposit on an apartment, and then less than 12 hours later, after noticing there were no windows and no smoke detectors, she decided the place wasn't safe and asked for her money back. The defendant told her she'd already cashed the check. She refuses to refund her money, and here they are. She's suing for $1,300, the amount of the deposit. This is the defendant, Janine Bryson. She says she had to turn other people away from the apartment because she had a deposit from the plaintiff. She's not obligated to return a deposit. She knows it. The plaintiff knows it, and it's too bad for her because she's keeping the money. She's accused of hanging on tight.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff gave the defendant a deposit for an apartment and found out hours later there was no smoke detector. Now can't get money back. But the defendant says the deposit ain't going back. It's the case of where there's smoke, there's a lawsuit.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mallory Woltering.
Yes.
You are suing Jerome, Janine Bryson. Okay, you are Janine?
Yes.
All right, and you have power of attorney for Joan?
Yes.
Joan is your what?
My mother.
All right. For $1,300, the return of a security deposit that you gave to Joan at Janine's direction in order to reserve an apartment, and now you want that money back. What happened?
So on October 7th, I contacted Janine about an apartment she had listed on Craigslist for $1,300 a month. When I spoke to her on the phone, she said the apartment was available for December 15th move-in. She said she wanted $3,900 up front, which was first month's rent, last month's rent, and a security deposit. She said that I could see the apartment. We spoke briefly, but she said her mom, Joan Jerome, had to show me the apartment because the current tenants in the apartment were her stepdaughters, and she's getting a divorce, and there was a lot of family tension, and she wasn't allowed down there. So I said, that's fine, that's no problem. Your mom can show me the apartment. She just, Janine asked that I be in and out quickly because of the tension and all the problems. So I met her mother at the house around 5 p.m. The tenants were very disruptive. They were saying, like, she's a con artist, she's a scam artist, blah, blah, blah. I thought they were just kind of trying to sabotage things because of what she told me, that there were all these family problems related to the divorce. So Joan showed me the apartment. I took some pictures. I was in and out. When I was there were 3 pit bulls in the backyard. After seeing the apartment, I was out front with her mother, Joan. I called Janine. I said, I'm interested in the apartment.
So the pit bulls didn't deter you, and them telling you she's a con artist didn't deter you, and then you give the money to Joan?
Correct. At the time, the current tenant saying all those things would have been red flags, but she told me that there were like all these problems, that they hated her.
Right, but why would
the
you
whole
believe
night.
her over them? Like, which one of them is telling the truth? That's already like enough to move on.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You don't know which one's telling the truth.
Right.
You have no reason to believe one over the other.
No, I understand. The reason, which obviously this isn't an excuse, but I have a large dog, and it's very difficult to find apartments that allow dogs on Long Island, let alone a big dog. So the fact that I found something affordable, I guess I was naive to rush into it.
Hopeful.
Right, exactly.
All right. And then what happened?
So I called Janine. She said, I told her that I was interested. We agreed that I could give her $1,300, and then I would give her the remainder, the first month's rent.
When do you call her and say, I've changed my mind?
That was at 5 a.m. the next day. I sent her a text message.
Okay, and why did you change your mind?
So I changed my mind.
Were you able to find another place that didn't have 100 issues?
No, no. I work overnight, so I went to work. I'm a registered nurse. I work like 7P to 7A. I was looking at pictures of the apartment, and I was sending them to my mom. My mom's
Pictures that you had taken?
Pictures that I had taken, yeah. My mom was like, I'm a little concerned. There's no windows. There's no smoke detectors. It looks like if something happens, you could potentially be trapped down there. I also wanted to mention, when I spoke to her, I asked about the dogs in the backyard. I said, are those dogs always out there? Or were the dogs just out there because I was there? And she said, no, they're pretty much out there all the time. It's the tenants' pets who live upstairs. And I was like, I'm a little concerned because I have a German Shepherd. And she was like, well, you could, call or text the people that live upstairs to bring their dogs in.
This was before or after you had paid the security?
This was after I had paid the security. She said I could do that whenever I need to take my dog out. So I'm like, all right, that sounds really inconvenient. So I texted her around 5:30 in the morning on October 8th, the following day, and I said, hey, Janine, I'm really sorry. I said, I'm having some second thoughts about the apartment. I said, I don't want to inconvenience you. I don't want you to turn away potential tenants because I'm not sure if I'm going to take the apartment. I was like, it doesn't look like things are going to work out. Please, if you could hold off cashing my check. By the time we left, it was like 6:30 p.m. I didn't know that they were even cashing the check that night.
Oh, they had
I
cashed
thought
it
it was
that
too
night?
late. They cashed it that night, which I didn't know until later.
All right, so when you make contact with her, you tell her, I want my money back, I changed my mind, and what does she say?
Yeah. And she said, she was like, okay, that's fine. She's like, because of the tenants downstairs, I can't even show the apartment until the following weekend because they're giving us such a hard time about showing it. She said, I'll meet you and give you your money. So I was like, okay, great.
Did you agree to give her money?
Once the apartment was re-rented. And
Has the apartment been re-rented?
now it hasn't been, but the people who are there are
Who
now
are the
staying.
people who are there?
My ex-boyfriend's daughters.
And did they pay rent?
Yes, they paid for a full year up front.
Oh, and did that include the time that we're talking about?
Yes, up till December.
Are you out
December
any
15th.
money?
Now, as she went to the tenants downstairs, my ex-boyfriend's daughters, and they were going to move out. I have text messages. They are moving out
Right, it's
December 15th.
October.
Yes.
Okay, and they're going to move out December 15th.
Yes.
Did they move out December 15th?
No,
And had they paid until when?
they paid till December 15th.
Okay, so they didn't move out, and then did they pay on December 15th?
No. Nope.
Okay, so you're saying I'm keeping the $1,300 because it's going to pay for rent when? It's October when this happens. It's the next day. So what efforts did you make to re-rent the place between October 7th and December 15th?
My mom was showing the apartment to keep everything civil, and everything was good. They were letting my mom show the apartment. Once she went there and talked to them, all of a sudden they refused to show us the apartment anymore, and they're like, she's taking you to court, we're not going anywhere.
When did she go over and talk to them?
I think it was about 3 days later, she texted me saying she was going over there. And then I tried contacting the girls, and my mom tried to contact the girls that are down there now, and they wouldn't
And
speak
you
to
went
us.
over there to do what?
Does a landlord have to disclose to prospective tenants that pit bulls live in the building?
I feel like no, because we're assuming that pit bulls are all negative in that scenario, and I don't think that all pit bulls are like evil dogs. So.
Fair enough. Everybody agree?
No, I think that should be disclosed because of the reputation pit bulls have had in the media.
Okay.
The tenant could have allergies, and it's
Well, that would be for any dog, though.
Yeah.
What about pit bulls?
well, pit bulls themselves, they're mostly nice, but they can be violent, and
You can say that about any dog, though, right?
yeah, you could. So
So basically, you went nowhere with this thought. Good job, though, going inside the courtroom.
I went over there October 14th. I had never even met her. I went over there October 14th to get her first and last name because she wasn't responding to me, and I knew we were going to end up in court. And I knew that they would be more than happy to give me any information.
Yes.
So-
Name, rank, and serial number, all
Right.
kinds of stuff.
So they let me take some more pictures. They gave me information, and they also gave me a statement saying that they never had any relation to her. They have a restraining order against her. This is
That's
from
not true.
Are they
December
still
7th.
living there?
They're still living there, and I also have a statement today from them saying that they have a lease until December of 2017.
That's a lie,
Do you,
too.
do you have the lease?
No.
No, just them saying they
Just
have
the
a lease.
statement, yeah.
Well, sounds to me like you don't have an apartment to rent.
So-
You have to evict them because they
Yes.
won't leave.
Yes.
Did you do that?
We started it.
All right, but then that means you could have never given her the apartment.
They-
So on what grounds are you keeping the $1,300?
I have text messages that they were leaving December 15th.
Yeah,
Everything
I
was
know
all
you
good.
think they were leaving, but as it turns
Yeah.
out, they didn't leave.
Yeah.
And they're still there, and you haven't evicted them.
Yeah.
So how could you have delivered an apartment on December 15th such that you should be allowed to keep her $1,300? In other words, you have a contract with her, through your mother, who was your agent there, your representative, that you would provide an open, ready apartment on December 15th. As luck would have it, you didn't have that. So on what grounds are you keeping her $1,300? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah, when I say it, it sounds bad, right?
Yeah.
$1,300 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Well, this was kind of an open and shut case for the plaintiff. She prevails. She gets the $1,300 back. You had no answer to the judge.
No.
None. That looked pretty bad for you, you know.
Yeah.
What do you think about this experience?
It is what it is.
It is what,
Yeah.
funny for you, right? You know, what cost you money? Okay, thank you very much. You have to give it back. Now Ms. Woldering's on her way out of the courtroom. Oh, it's a shame you had to go through this.
Yes.
I'm intrigued by the fact that when you went there, and you said you have a German Shepherd, and there were 3 pit bulls there.
Right.
Didn't that bother you, the thought of it in the very beginning?
The thought of it, I didn't think the dogs lived outside. So
Yeah.
I guess, once again, I was kind of hopeful and naive in that sense. So
I mean, it sounds like a recipe
fault.
for problems.
disaster, it was.
Serious
yeah,
problems.
that's why I'm here.
Well, you did a good job. Congratulations. Glad you got your money back.
Thank you very
okay?
much.
Thank you. Harvey?
You know, Doug, the laws are very tough on landlords when it comes to withholding deposits. And in some states, the law says that you can actually get double the amount that's wrongfully withheld. There are other states that say you can get triple, 3 times the amount wrongfully withheld.